Jesus arrested, no one touches him. Jesus repeats a statement he has already made. I am going away, and you will look for me, and yet you will die in your sin. Where I am going, you cannot come. The Jews, completely the light of the world. The Son of God, John 8. 12-36, 162. Misunderstanding Jesus' words, begin to wonder. He will not kill himself, will he? Because he says, where I am going, you cannot come. They do not understand what Jesus means, because they are unaware of his origin. He explains. You are from the realms below. I am from the realms above. You are from this world. I am not from this world. John 8. 21-23. Jesus is referring to his pre-human existence in heaven and to his being the promised Messiah, or Christ, whom these religious leaders should be expecting. Nevertheless, they ask with great contempt, who are you? John 8. 25. In the face of their rejection and opposition, Jesus answers, why am I even speaking to you at all? Still, he directs attention to his Father and explains why the Jews should listen to the Son. The one who sent me is true, and the very things I heard from him I am speaking in the world. John 8. 25, 26. Then Jesus expresses confidence in his Father, which these Jews lack. After you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am here and that I do nothing of my own initiative. But just as the Father taught me, I speak these things. And the one who sent me is with me. He did not abandon me to myself, because I always do the things pleasing to him. John 8. 28, 29. Some Jews, though, do put faith in Jesus, and he says to them, if you remain in my word, you are really my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8. 31, 32. To some, this talk of being set free seems strange. They object. We are Abraham's offspring and never have been slaves to anyone. How is it you say, you will become free? The Jews know that at times they have been under foreign domination, yet they refuse to be called slaves. Jesus points out, however, that they still are slaves. Most truly I say to you, every doer of sin is a slave of sin. John 8. 33, 34. Refusing to admit their slavery to sin puts the Jews in a dangerous position. The slave does not remain in the household forever, Jesus explains. The son remains forever. John 8. 35. A slave has no rights to an inheritance, and he may be dismissed at any time. Only the son actually born or adopted into the household remains forever, that is, as long as he lives. Thus, the truth about the Son is the truth that sets people free from death-dealing sin forever. If the Son sets you free, you will be truly free, Jesus declares. John 8. 36. Jesus explains who the Son is. How are the Jews slaves? What occurs at night during the festival, and how does this relate to Jesus' teaching? Jesus says what about his origin, and what does this reveal about his identity? In what way are the Jews slaves, but what truth will set them free? 68, 163. Still in Jerusalem for the Festival of Tabernacles or Booths, Jesus goes on teaching vital truths. Some Jews present had just said to him, we are Abraham's offspring and never have been slaves. Jesus responds, I know that you are Abraham's offspring. But you are seeking to kill me, because my word makes no progress among you. I speak the things I have seen while with my Father, but you do the things you have heard from your father. John 8. 33, 37, 38. Jesus' point is simple. His Father is different from theirs. Unaware of what Jesus means, the Jews repeat their claim. Our father is Abraham. John 8. 39. Isaiah 41. 8. They are literally his descendants. So they feel that they are of the same faith as God's friend Abraham. However, Jesus gives a shocking reply. If you were Abraham's children, you would be doing the works of Abraham. Indeed, a real son imitates his father. But now you are seeking to kill me, Jesus continues, "The man who has told you the truth that I heard from God. Abraham did not do this." Then Jesus makes the puzzling statement, "You are doing the works of your father." John 8. 39-41. The Jews still do not grasp to whom Jesus is referring. They claim that they are legitimate sons, saying, "We were not born from immorality. We have one Father, God." Is God really their Father, though? If God were your Father, Jesus says, "You would love me, for I came from God and I am here. I have not come of my own initiative, but that one sent me." Jesus asks a question and answers it himself. "Why do you not understand what I am saying? Because you cannot listen to my word." John 8. 41-43. Jesus has tried to show what the consequences of rejecting him are. But now he pointedly says, "You are from your father the devil, and you wish to do the desires of your father." What is their father like? Jesus identifies him clearly. That one was a murderer when he began, and he did not stand fast in the truth. Jesus adds, "The one who is from God listens to the sayings of God. This is why you do not listen, because you are not from God." John 8. 44-47. That condemnation angers the Jews, who answer, "Are we not right in saying, you are a Samaritan and have a demon?" By calling Jesus a Samaritan, they are expressing contempt for him. But Jesus ignores their slur, responding, "I do not have a demon, but I honor my Father, and you dishonor me." That this is a serious matter can be seen by Jesus' startling promise. "If anyone observes my word, he will never see death at all." He does not mean that the apostles and others who follow him will literally never die. Rather, they will never see eternal destruction, the second death, with no hope of a resurrection. John 8. 48-51. Revelation 21. 8. But the Jews take Jesus' words literally, saying, "Now we do know that you have a demon. Abraham died, also the prophets, but you say, if anyone observes my word, he will never taste death at all. You are not greater than our father Abraham, who died, are you? Who do you claim to be?" John 8. 52-53. It is obvious that Jesus is making the point that he is the Messiah. But rather than directly answer their question about his identity, he says, "If I glorify myself, my glory is nothing. It is my Father who glorifies me, the one who you say is your God. Yet you have not known him, but I know him. And if I said I do not know him, I would be like you, a liar." John 8. 54-55. Their father, Abraham or the devil. John 8. 37-59-164. Jesus now refers back to the example of their faithful forefather. "Abraham your father rejoiced greatly at the prospect of seeing my day, and he saw it and rejoiced." Yes, believing God's promise, Abraham looked forward to the arrival of the Messiah. You are not yet 50 years old, and still you have seen Abraham. The Jews respond in disbelief. Jesus answers, "Most truly I say to you, before Abraham came into existence, I have been." He is referring to his pre-human existence as a mighty spirit in heaven. John 8. 56-58. The Jews, enraged by Jesus' claim to have lived before Abraham, get ready to stone him. But Jesus leaves unharmed. The Jews claim Abraham as father before Abraham. Jesus has been. How does Jesus show that his father is different from the father of his enemies? Why is it unfitting for the Jews to insist that Abraham is their father? In what way will Jesus' followers never see death at all? 69-165. Jesus is still in Jerusalem on the Sabbath. As he and his disciples are walking in the city, they see a beggar who has been blind from birth. The disciples ask Jesus, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, so that he was born blind?" John 9. 2. The disciples know that the man has no invisible soul that existed before he was born, yet they may wonder whether a person might sin while in his mother's womb. Jesus answers, Neither this man sinned nor his parents, but it was so that the works of God might be made manifest in his case. John 9:3. So neither this man nor his parents were guilty of a specific error or sin that caused his blindness. Rather, as a result of Adam's sin, all humans are born imperfect and are subject to defects, such as blindness. But the man's blindness provides an opportunity for Jesus to make manifest the works of God, as he has done at other times in healing people of their sicknesses. Jesus stresses that it is urgent to do these works. We must do the works of the one who sent me while it is day, he says. The night is coming when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the world's light. John 9:4-5. Yes, soon Jesus' death will plunge him into the darkness of the grave where he can do nothing. In the meantime, he is a source of enlightenment to the world. But will Jesus heal the man, and if so, how? Jesus spits on the ground and with the saliva makes a paste. He puts some of it on the blind man's eyes and says, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam." John 9:7. The man obeys. When he does, he can see. Think of his joy at seeing for the first time in his life. Neighbors and others who knew him to be blind are amazed. "This is the man who used to sit and beg, is it not?" they ask. "This is he," some answer. But others cannot believe it and say, "No, but he looks like him." The man himself responds, "I am he." John 9:8-9. Hence, they ask him, "How, then, were your eyes opened?" He replies, "The man called Jesus made a paste and smeared it on my eyes and said to me, 'Go to Siloam and wash.' So I went and washed and gained sight." They then ask, "Where is that man?" The beggar answers, "I do not know." John 9:10-12. The people lead the man to the Pharisees, who also want to know how he gained sight. He tells them, "He put a paste on my eyes, and I washed, and I can see." It would seem natural that the Pharisees would want to rejoice with the healed beggar. Instead, some of them did Jesus heals a man born blind. John 9:1-18-166. Nounce Jesus. "This is not a man from God," they claim, "for he does not observe the Sabbath." Yet others say, "How can a man who is a sinner perform signs of that sort?" John 9:15-16. So they are divided. Faced with these conflicting views, they turn to the man who now can see and ask, "What do you say about him, since it was your eyes that he opened?" He has no doubts about Jesus and responds, "He is a prophet." John 9:17. The Jews refuse to believe this. They may think that there is some scheme between Jesus and this man to fool the people. They conclude that one way to settle the matter is to question the beggar's parents about whether he really was blind. A beggar blind from birth is healed. What is the cause of the man's blindness, and what is not? How do those who know the blind man react to his being healed? How are the Pharisees divided over the man's being healed? 167. The Pharisees cannot accept that Jesus gave sight to the man who was born blind, so they call in his parents. The parents know that they face the possibility of being expelled from the synagogue. John 9:22. Such cutting off of fellowship from other Jews would have severe social and economic consequences for the family. The Pharisees ask two questions. Is this your son who you say was born blind? How, then, does he now see? The parents reply, We know that this is our son and that he was born blind. But how it is that he now sees, we do not know. Or who opened his eyes, we do not know. Even if their son had told them what had happened, the parents are cautious as to how they respond and say, Ask him. He is of age. He must speak for himself. John 9:19-21. Hence, the Pharisees called the man back and intimidate him by claiming that they have evidence against Jesus. Give glory to God, they demand. We know that this man is a sinner. Deflecting their charge, the man who was blind says, Whether he is a sinner, I do not know. Yet he states,